What's up everyone? So I've been making these videos for a while and I realized that I never really explained what kind of equipment I use. And so in today's video, I thought I'd give you guys a little sneak peek as to what equipment I have and why I chose it. But before we start, if you're new to my channel, I make a lot of videos related to video and photo tips, photo walks, and equipment review. If that interests you, make sure to hit subscribe and that notification bell. That way you can get more of my content. As I stated in the beginning, these are going to be the pieces of equipment I like to use and just why I chose them. Of course, I'm not going to dive into every single piece because quite frankly, that might be a little boring and that's quite a tedious task. Plus, I already did a video on my lens collection. You can check that out up here or here. I don't know which corner it's going to be because my monitor's flipped. And after hearing my list, some of you may have this like weird formulated opinion as to like, oh, why did you pick that? This is a so much better model than what you have. Well, to be honest, your needs don't match my needs. Every piece of gear that I own, there's a reason behind it. And yeah, I'm more than willing to swap things out and upgrade to the next thing, but there are gonna be a lot of reasons as to why I don't invest in some equipment. Mostly it's budget reasons or storage reasons, but the other purpose is, am I gonna get all the use out of it? So let's start with the camera. So I actually own two Sony mirrorless cameras. The reason I picked a mirrorless camera is because the exposure is gonna be a little bit better for video production. And the reason I picked Sony is because they were one of the first to really jump headfirst into the mirrorless game. And so I felt like their technology on the inside of the cameras were a little bit better. Now that doesn't mean I don't appreciate like a Panasonic camera or even Canon. I mean, Canon was my first love, but Sony is where it's at right now. Now the specific models I own are the A7SII and the A6500. The reason I picked the A7SII is because this is the first Sony mirrorless that was more geared towards the video production people. And this is the first one that they had native 4K built into the camera. For me, that was a big selling point because 4K is pretty important for the videography game. It's also a full frame camera. And what's great about the Sony A7S sensor is that it's really great in low light. Now for the A6500, I mainly picked it because I needed something a little bit more portable just for everyday use. And I didn't want to spend a lot of money on the A6400, which just came out around the time that I was making this purchase for the A6500. And so the reason I picked the 6500 is because it's a smaller camera build, but it has all the A7S II components built into it. The only difference is it's an APS-C sensor and not necessarily the best in low light, but it works. So now for the lenses. I've already talked about my lens collection and y'all know that I like a 35mm lens, but really I'm gonna focus on what brand of lens I like to get, and that's Rokinon, or Samyang to some people. The main reason is that they're budget friendly, but they have a really professional look to it. For me, the glass is perfect and the build quality isn't that bad. I mean, especially for the price. If you look at all my photos and most of my videos, I use a lot of Rokinon, so the images should speak for itself. So let's look into the audio equipment I use. I like to use my Tascam DR-05 audio recorder. This was my first audio recorder that I bought and I just never saw any reason to really upgrade since I wasn't doing a lot of sound production. The DR-05 is a very old model, but I really like it because it's portable and it just gets the job done. Now, of course, the next important thing would be a shotgun mic. Now, I own about 3 or 4 different shotgun mics, but if I had to choose out of my collection, my favorite one would be my Pixel shotgun mic. The mic is small and portable, which is perfect for when I go out and about. And on top of that, I could use the mic with my smartphone. The final piece of audio equipment that I like is my lapel mic. Now, I have a few brands and I don't really have a particular favorite one, but I really like using the lapel mic and pairing it with my Tascam because it's gonna give you the clearest sound possible. Really, there's no big philosophical reasoning behind the lapel mic. It's just clear audio. I think I've done too many audio tests where you'll know the difference between my shotgun mic and my lapel mic, so there's really no reason for me to dive too far deep into it. So now let's take a quick look into the lighting equipment that I have. So I own quite a few lights, but there are two that I will always go and reach for. The first is my DIY cake pan light. Now I made this light after seeing Daniel Schiffer's video, and then I decided to make a video about it as well. And it produces some really good lighting. Actually, I'm using it right now. Now sure, it took a little bit of time and effort to gather all the pieces and put it together, but I think it was well worth it. And I like it too because it's easier to conceal and store, and plus it's really soft lighting. But of course, I like to pair that cake pan light with my LED panel. Now I have a couple of these LED panels and they were mainly for like run and gun where you attach it to your camera when you're in like a dark place. But now I use them more for studio purpose, and actually that's the light behind me, so I use it as my edge light now. They're small, they're cheap to get, and you can switch between battery and AC power. They also have very high output, and so with those two lights, they make a really great combination where I have that soft key light plus a very hard edge. And so that's the end of my list. I really don't know where this video is going because I kind of brought this up at the last minute, and so making YouTube content has just been kind of on back burner where just haven't had some motivation to do it lately, but I'm getting back into the swing of it. In the end, I hope that my reasons and the equipment I like to use gives you a little bit of insight as to just what I like to focus on when it comes to equipment purpose. Now, I highly doubt it's gonna make any impact in your production life or your decisions, but it's just nice from video creator to geek out about our equipment. If you guys found this video interesting, make sure to hit subscribe and that like button and follow me on Instagram so that way you get more of my content. And let me know in the comments what's your favorite piece of equipment you like to use and what do you wish to have. And so until next video, see ya.